having a job for somebody puts you back into society. Everybody, the first question someone asks you when they meet you is, what's your name and what do you do? Where do you work? That is huge.
Having a job is huge, and for Natalie Rosser, having a job has been a transforming experience. She works as an accounting assistant at Transcend Incorporated in Rockville, Maryland. But finding that job was a challenge. Natalie is a disabled veteran who has post-traumatic stress disorder. She excelled in her military career, and she served our country ably in Iraq. But Natalie's combat service did not come without a price.
In February 2004, we deployed to Iraq, to Balad, where we got hit at least 2 to 3 times a day. And I had a lot of close calls. Rockets landing, you know, within 150 meters from me. And, you know, there were a lot of deaths on the compound. And I spent every second of every minute of every day believing that that was going to be my last day on Earth. And it played a hard toll on me.
Natalie needed to find a job, so she did what a lot of people do. She searched the internet, and she found Montgomery Works, a one-stop career center near her home in Maryland. After meeting with a veterans career specialist, she met with Maggie Leedy. Maggie is the center's lead disability program navigator, or DPN, part of a nationwide initiative begun in 2003 by the U.S. Department of Labor's Employment and Training Administration and the Social Security Administration.
So the Disability Program Navigator Initiative was created to really help the one-stops become fully accessible for people with disabilities. And we don't mean just accessible for getting in and out of the door, but also to make sure the programs are accessible, that the materials that are given out are accessible, that the job fairs have any kind of accommodations people need, and mostly that staff is accessible. Staff understands how to work with somebody who has a disability.
DPNs work closely with veterans outreach and employment programs within one-stop career centers. The DPN initiative was begun to ensure that individuals with disabilities receive services that are integrated and seamless with the overall array of services offered at one-stops, where veterans receive priority service in accordance with federal law.
The whole concept of the navigator was something that was really groundbreaking in the sense that for the first time you had someone who was very knowledgeable about a specific population of individuals with disabilities and specifically knowledgeable about all the resources that could help them and help individuals to hire them and be able to bring that together in one package was something that never happened before.
There are many pieces that somebody needs to find a job. They need a resume. They need work skills, they need interests, they need abilities, they need interviewing skills, salary negotiation skills. Everybody needs that. People with disabilities need that as well because they're job seekers like everybody else. But the one thing they also have is the added challenge in selling themselves to get past the disability.
Businesses today are looking for quality individuals, for quality people. Whether or not an individual has a disability or not is pretty much insignificant to employers. Employers are looking for folks that can get the job done and that can fill their specific needs to make their company profitable or to get the job done.
So what I really want businesses to realize is that hiring someone with a disability is no different than hiring anybody else. And you just focus on what can they do, how are they going to benefit your company, and perhaps they need an accommodation, but guess what? You accommodate people all the time if you're a good manager.
Another very valuable thing that the disability program navigators have done is do extensive outreach to the disability community to let them know about the existence of the one-stops.
Natalie Rosser has multiple challenges to employment. After attending Howard University, She enlisted in the Army, where she sustained injuries in air assault training. She's been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, and she's a single parent. Her transition to civilian life has been difficult.
I tried to go to school, and I kept falling on my face, you know? Like I would try full time and I couldn't do it. It was just like such a strain. And knowing that I had received RCOMs and AAMs while I was in the service, I really didn't understand why now I can't, you know, continue to do what I used to be able to do. So finding a job as a civilian was very challenging. And I heard about Montgomery Works, and they worked well with me. I met Maggie Leedy.
When I met Natalie, I was very comfortable with the team and working on her different issues and making sure she was getting counseling and making sure she had child care.
She looked at my resume. She would tell me what to fix. She asked me about what I thought I could handle.
And so I really focused on the next step for her, which was finding a job. And she didn't want to work full-time. She wanted to work part-time.
She really worked basically one-on-one with me, and it was nice to have somebody kind of advocate for me.
So when I was looking through the job listings that we get from the business resource team, I saw a job for a part-time accounting assistant, and the hours were flexible. It was a perfect match because she had the skills that this company called Transcend was looking for, and they were also able to offer her the flexibility that she needed. As long as she puts in the 10 to 15 hours a week, they're fine with that.
As our company has grown, we've had difficulty keeping up with all of the demands of our accounting department. And through outreach from the One Stop Career Center's Business Services Unit, we found out that they offer services in linking job seekers with employers' needs. They came to us and said, we have somebody who can meet your needs. And that turned out to be Natalie.
My job at Transcend, I help out the accounting director, and she's trained me about debits and credits because I never had any formal training in accounting. I do the journal entries, and I input the data into the new computer system, and I helped her transfer from the old accounting system they were using to the new one. And it's interesting. Through my employment, I really developed a sense of confidence, knowing that I can work and work well. I think that's the type of experience that I needed after going through so much. It's kind of like, you know, a positive.
This turned out to be a great alternative for us because we don't have to pay to advertise the position. We don't have to pay a staffing agency to find employees for us, which we've had to do in the past. But we were able to link directly with them without any cost to us and find an excellent employee like Natalie. It's been a great match, and thanks to the representatives from the One Stop who introduced us to Natalie, we were able to match her perfectly to the task. And they also spent time learning what we needed, and that was the key.
Yeah, my last 4 or 5 years have been a struggle for me. But everything seems to be coming around better now. I saw my physician at the VA, I think it was last Friday, and he was so impressed. He said, "This is the best I've seen you, and I've been treating you for almost 4 years now." And he was really happy for me, and I told him about the part-time job, and he was like, "That's great. You know, getting back on your feet."
The Disability Program Navigator Initiative and the One Stop Career Center are making a difference for Natalie Rosser and for her employer.
You have to take a lot of baby steps, as long as they're in the right direction.
What's your name and what do you do? Where do you work? And if you can answer that question, you can hold your head up high. And that's what it's really all about. Let's not leave anybody out. Let's include everybody, and the world is a better place. And I really think that the Disability Program Navigators make the world a better place.